Welcome to our podcast. Listen to this when you feel stuck in English.
You ever feel like English is this huge mountain, and no matter how long you've been climbing, you still can't see the top?
All the time. It's like I take 3 steps forward, and suddenly I forget everything I thought I knew.
Yeah, like one day you feel kind of okay, and the next you're wondering if you've been doing it all wrong.
Exactly. And it's not even about the grammar or the words. It's just this weight, like something's blocking you from really getting it.
I know that feeling. I used to think maybe it was just me. Maybe I wasn't made for this language thing.
Me too. Like you see other people getting better, and you're like, what's wrong with me? Why do I still feel lost?
And the worst part is, you can't even explain it. Because on paper you've learned a lot, but inside it still feels empty.
Like you're doing everything they told you, but none of it is sticking the way it should.
Right? And then you start to doubt everything. Your memory, your ability, your patience.
And no one really talks about that. How learning something new messes with your head. How it makes you question your worth sometimes.
Yeah. You know what else no one tells you? That sometimes, even when you're learning, your brain just refuses to care. Like you sit there with your book or your video, and it feels like the words are floating right past you, not even stopping to say hi. And you start wondering, why can't I focus? Why does my mind keep running away? It's not because you're lazy, and it's not because you're not smart. It's because your brain's tired. Tired of the pressure. Tired of the voice that keeps saying, you're behind. You're too slow. Today isn't enough. Sometimes your mind just wants a break. Not from English, but from the fear that you're not doing it right. And you know what? That's okay. Because learning isn't a straight line. It's not like day 1, day 2, day 3, and boom, you get it. It's more like, day 1, I'm excited. Day 2, I'm confused. Day 3, I'm tired. Day 4, I forget everything. Day 5, something clicks out of nowhere. And that's the thing. It does click. When you least expect it, you could be washing dishes or walking down the street, and suddenly, a word makes sense. A sentence connects. A light turns on in your head. That doesn't happen because you forced it. It happens because you gave yourself time. Nobody tells you that rest is part of learning. That silence is part of progress. That not knowing everything today doesn't mean you'll never know. You don't have to fight the language every single day. You can walk with it. Let it become part of your world slowly, like how you don't notice the seasons changing, until one day you step outside, and the air smells like something new. That's how English can feel too. If you stop trying to win against it, and just live with it a little, not for a goal, not for a score, but because it's something you're growing into, one piece at a time. Even if today doesn't feel like much, it's still something. You're still in it, and that matters more than you think.
Yeah, and sometimes we feel stuck. Not because we're not learning, but because we keep comparing ourselves to people we don't even know. Like, we scroll through these videos, see someone speaking or writing perfectly, and suddenly, we feel like we're way behind. We forget that we're only seeing their result, not the hours, the doubts, the times they almost gave up. We don't see their late nights, or the days they felt just as lost as we do now. And it's not fair to take someone else's chapter 20 and compare it to our chapter 3, but we still do it, without even noticing, without even asking ourselves if it helps. And the truth is, it doesn't. It only makes us feel smaller. Like no matter what we do, we'll never catch up. But the thing is, you don't need to catch up, because this is your path, not theirs. You're not late. You're not behind. You're just moving at a pace that makes sense for your life, for your brain, for your story. And even if it feels slow, it's still moving. There's this pressure, this silent pressure, to always be better faster, to never struggle, to always get it right away. But maybe the real strength is not about being fast. It's about staying, even when it's hard, even when you feel like you've learned nothing today, even when your motivation disappears. You stayed, and that counts for something. People always want to show their wins, but nobody posts the part where they feel stuck, where they want to cry, where they sit in front of their screen and just feel blank. But everyone has that moment, even the best ones, even the ones who look like they were born fluent. So maybe feeling stuck isn't a sign of failure. Maybe it's just a part of learning that nobody warned us about. Maybe it's the space right before you level up, the quiet place, before things start to make sense in a way they never did before. So don't quit in that space. Don't rush out of it. Don't let it make you forget how far you've come. This moment, it's not the end. It's just a pause. And even pauses are part of the song.
Yeah, and maybe the real reason we feel stuck is because we never learned how to be patient with ourselves. We think learning English should feel exciting all the time. Like we should wake up every day full of energy and motivation, ready to study, to practice, to improve. But real life doesn't work like that. Some days we're tired, some days we're sad, some days we just don't want to do it. And that's not failure, that's just being human. But what we do next on those days matters more than we think. Because getting unstuck isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it's about doing less, but doing it with more love. Like maybe today, you don't study for hours. You just listen to one short podcast, or read one sentence, or watch one scene from a movie you love. And that's enough. We think if we don't do it perfectly, then it's not worth it. But the truth is, the small steps, the quiet efforts, the moments that feel too little are actually the moments that build your confidence. Because stuck doesn't mean broken. It just means you need to breathe. You can try this. Instead of forcing yourself to study harder, just ask yourself one question. What's one tiny thing I can do today that doesn't feel heavy? Maybe it's repeating a word 5 times. Maybe it's writing one sentence about your day. Maybe it's thinking in English while brushing your teeth. It sounds simple, but that's the point. Simple is what gets you out of the mud. Simple is what moves you again. You don't need a huge plan or a perfect routine. You just need something small enough that your tired brain can say okay to, and from there, you build. Stuck is only permanent if you stop trying completely, but if you do one small thing today, and another small thing tomorrow, and then another, you're not stuck anymore. You're moving. It's like lighting a candle in a dark room. You don't need to turn on all the lights, just one soft flame, and already, you see a little more. That's what your learning needs right now. Not pressure, not guilt, just light, just one step. And step by step, you become the version of you who doesn't quit when it's hard, but learns how to keep going anyway.
Yeah, and you know what helps too? Changing your environment just a little, because sometimes it's not you. It's the space you're learning in. It's the same table, the same boring notebook, the same heavy feeling when you sit down. Your brain starts to link English with stress, with pressure, with this feeling of I have to instead of I want to. And that energy, it makes you feel stuck, even before you start. But you can trick your brain, in a good way. You don't have to move to another country, or buy something new. You just need to switch something small. Try learning in a new corner of your house. Sit by the window. Put on a different playlist. Use a pen that makes you feel good when you write. Change your phone's language for 1 hour. Let English show up in new places. Let it feel fresh again. Because when something feels new, it becomes easier to enjoy. And joy is what makes you stay. You can also change what you're learning with not just grammar books or lesson videos. Try learning through a voice you love, a person whose style feels like yours, even a cartoon you used to watch as a kid, or a video about cooking or painting or travel. Let English enter your life, not just your study time. If you like drawing, label your tools in English. If you like journaling, write 1 sentence a day. If you love your pet, talk to it in English. No pressure. Just play. That way, you stop seeing English as a mountain and start seeing it as a part of your day. And suddenly, you don't feel stuck. You just feel alive. Because the goal is not to beat English. The goal is to live with it. Let it grow roots inside you, in small, beautiful ways. And over time, those roots become strong, without you even noticing. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to feel connected again. Sometimes the best solution isn't to push harder. It's to change the feeling around what you're doing. Make it lighter. Make it yours. Because if you create a space where your brain feels safe and curious, English will stop being a wall and start becoming a door.
Yes, exactly. And there's something else I think people really need to hear, especially when they feel stuck with English. Stop trying to be perfect. Like, seriously, let that go. Perfection is one of the biggest reasons people get stuck. You feel like if you can't say something perfectly, you shouldn't say it at all. If your grammar isn't perfect, you stay quiet. If your pronunciation isn't clear, You stop yourself from speaking. But the people who get good at English, they're not the ones who get it right all the time. They're the ones who keep going, even when it's messy. Mistakes are not failure. They're proof that you're trying. You know how babies learn to talk? They mess up words. They say things wrong all the time. And no one laughs at them. People encourage them. Because that's how we learn. You are allowed to sound strange. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to not know the word. It doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means you're in the middle of learning it. So if you want to move forward, you need to give yourself permission to be imperfect, to be real, to be human. Try saying one sentence, even if it's full of mistakes. Write one short paragraph, even if you're unsure of the tenses. Record your voice even if you hate how it sounds. Because every time you do, you are building courage. And courage is stronger than grammar. And this might sound strange, but you can even talk to yourself. Yes, like literally talk to yourself in English. When you're walking, when you're cleaning, even when you're thinking. Describe what you're doing. Simple things. And speaking of listening, you don't always have to understand every word. Some learners get stuck because they pause every few seconds to look up every unknown word. That slows you down, and it kills your motivation. Try this instead. Just listen for the meaning. Even if you only understand 60% or 40%, keep going. Let your brain fill in the gaps. This is how babies learn too. They don't understand everything, but over time, their brain starts to connect the dots. Yours will too. So don't be afraid to keep going, even when you don't understand it all. You'll catch more than you think.
I completely agree with that. And here's something else that might surprise you. Stop trying to force fluency. I know it sounds counterintuitive, right? But hear me out. We often get stuck because we're trying too hard. To speak perfectly, to sound fluent, to make every sentence flawless. But that's not how learning works. Fluency doesn't come from forcing yourself to be perfect. It comes from being natural. It comes from letting go of that constant pressure and allowing yourself to just be in the moment. Think about it. When you're trying to speak too quickly, or when you're stressing about grammar or vocabulary, you're not fully present in the conversation. You're more focused on impressing others, or avoiding mistakes, than actually communicating. And that's where the problem lies. To break through the barrier of feeling stuck, you need to take a step back. You need to take the pressure off yourself. Stop chasing fluency. Instead, focus on the process. Focus on learning at your own pace. Focus on enjoying the little victories along the way. Start seeing your progress. In the small moments, the times when you understood something you didn't understand before, or the times when you made a sentence without overthinking every word. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. It's a long journey. But if you stop trying to force it, you'll find that you start improving without even realizing it. And the key is to take it one step at a time. Don't worry about speaking like a native speaker or sounding perfect in every conversation. Just focus on improving your ability to express yourself, even if it's in simple words, or with pauses, or with mistakes. Fluency comes when you stop chasing it, and instead, just allow yourself to speak. So if you're feeling stuck, take a deep breath, slow down, and give yourself permission to be imperfect. Let the words flow naturally, without that constant pressure. When you stop forcing it, you'll realize that fluency will come on its own.
I completely get what you mean. And I think there's one more thing we need to address. We often feel stuck in English because we focus too much on what we can't do. We think about the vocabulary we don't know, the grammar rules that confuse us, the sentences we can't form. We get so caught up in the things we haven't mastered yet that we forget to celebrate the progress we've already made. Think about it for a moment. How often do you look back and realize how much you've actually learned? We tend to overlook it because it doesn't feel big enough. But trust me, every small step counts. So, instead of focusing on the areas where you're struggling, start shifting your attention to what you can do. Acknowledge the words you do know, the phrases you've already mastered. Notice how much more you understand now than you did a year ago. The little victories are just as important as the big ones. And we don't celebrate our progress enough. We spend so much time thinking about how much more we have to learn that we forget to appreciate how far we've come. And that mindset is exactly what keeps us stuck. Imagine, instead of constantly telling yourself, I don't know enough, what if you told yourself, I've learned so much and I'm getting better every day? That shift in thinking changes everything. When you stop focusing on what's missing and start focusing on what's already there, you feel more motivated to keep going. And it's easier to push through those tough moments when you're reminded of all the progress you've made.
Right. You're absolutely right. And, you see, most people think they're stuck in English because they're not good at grammar, or because they don't have enough vocabulary, or because they're too shy to speak. But what if the real reason you feel stuck is because you've been learning English in a way that doesn't match your brain? Yes, your brain. Let me explain. Some people learn best by reading, some by listening, some by doing, some by talking. But in school, everyone is taught the same way. Same textbooks, same grammar drills, same boring exercises. And when it doesn't work, you blame yourself. You think, I must be bad at English. But you're not. You've just never been shown how you learn best. You've never been given permission to learn in your own way. Maybe you're a visual learner, so why are you forcing yourself to memorize long grammar rules with no color, no shape, no image? Maybe you're a social learner, so why are you studying alone, without speaking to a single soul? Maybe you learn best by hearing, but you spend all your time reading, trying to understand every word, without ever feeling the rhythm of real speech. This is the problem. You're not stuck in English. You're stuck in a system that never asked, how do you learn? And that's why you're tired. That's why you've lost motivation. That's why it feels like nothing is working. But here's the moment of truth. You can change that. Right now, you can stop blaming yourself and start listening to yourself. Ask, do I feel excited when I learn this way? Does this method make me want to come back tomorrow? Does it feel natural to me? If not, try something different. Watch movies with subtitles. Write a diary in English. Teach someone else a new phrase. Record yourself. Draw mind maps. Make flashcards with pictures. Speak to a mirror. Shadow your favorite actor. Sing songs in English. Try, explore, mix it up. Your brain will tell you what feels right. And when you find that thing, that way of learning that finally clicks, you'll feel it. Everything gets lighter, faster, easier, and you'll wonder, why didn't I do this earlier? That's the moment of awakening. That's the part where you realize you were never the problem. The problem was thinking you had to learn like everyone else, but you don't. You never did. And now you know that. So from this moment on, you're not stuck. You're just getting started in the right direction.
Exactly. That's it. You're not broken. You were just following the wrong map. And now, with this new map, everything can be different. But I want you to really hear this. Changing how you learn doesn't mean you need to change everything overnight. You don't have to throw away all your books, or quit your classes, or start from zero. It just means you start paying attention to how you feel when you're learning. Because when learning feels natural, your brain relaxes, your memory works better, your speaking becomes smoother. Think about it like this. When you enjoy something, you don't have to force yourself to do it. You want to. You even lose track of time. That's what you need in English. Not more pressure. Not more guilt. Not more telling yourself, I'm not good enough. You need more flow. And flow happens when your learning matches your mind. It's like water finding the easiest path. It doesn't force itself through rocks. It moves around them, smoothly, naturally. That's what you deserve too. And let me tell you something even deeper. Once you start learning in a way that feels right for you, you also start trusting yourself more. You stop thinking, maybe I'm not smart enough for English. And you start realizing, I am smart. I just needed a way that speaks to me. And from there, something even more powerful happens. You start becoming your own teacher. You stop waiting for the perfect course. You stop waiting for the perfect book. You stop waiting for someone to tell you what to do. Because you can feel it now, inside. You know when something helps you. You know when something wastes your time. And that feeling, that inner trust, is what will carry you through the hard days, the slow days, the confusing days. You won't give up anymore, because you'll know this journey is yours, not someone else's. Yours, and English will stop being this scary, heavy thing. It will become a tool, a bridge, a friend. And you'll look back one day and realize getting stuck wasn't a failure. It was your brain's way of telling you, hey, something isn't working. Let's find a better way. And now you have. So keep going. Keep listening to yourself. Keep learning in a way that feels alive to you. Because once you do, there's no more stuck. There's only forward.
You know, for a long time, I didn't even realize I was learning English the wrong way. I just kept memorizing vocabulary lists, reading grammar books, and forcing myself to sit for hours, even when I felt tired, even when nothing made sense anymore. I thought if I just worked harder, if I just pushed more, one day English would magically become easy. But it didn't. No matter how much I studied, I still froze when I tried to speak. I still felt small when I listened to real conversations. I still doubted myself. Every single time. And honestly, there were days when I thought maybe English just wasn't for me. Maybe I wasn't language smart. It's such a painful feeling, believing that no matter how hard you try, you're still stuck. But the truth was, the way I was learning was crushing my natural ability to grow. I wasn't connecting with the language. I was fighting it. I was fighting myself. Everything started to change. The day I stopped asking, how much more can I force myself to memorize today? And started asking, how can I make this feel lighter, more real, more like me? At first, I didn't even know where to start. It felt strange. I was so used to punishing myself for every mistake. But little by little, I gave myself permission to learn differently. I started listening to simple English podcasts while walking, just enjoying the sound, without worrying if I understood every word. I started watching short videos, pausing when I wanted, laughing, repeating phrases I liked, without overthinking it. I stopped treating English like a school subject I had to survive, and started treating it like a new world I wanted to explore. And that's when everything shifted. I didn't become fluent overnight, of course not. But the feeling of being stuck, it started to melt away. I started having small conversations. I started understanding jokes. I started feeling, for the first time, like English wasn't this huge wall in front of me anymore. It was a door, and I had the key. So if you're stuck right now, please know, it's not because you're lazy, or stupid, or not talented enough. It's because the old way isn't serving you anymore. It's time to find your flow. And when you do, you're going to wonder, just like I did, why didn't I do this sooner? But don't blame yourself. Be proud you realized it now. Because now, everything can be different, and it will be.
So in the end, getting stuck in English is not a sign that you are bad at it. It's a normal part of learning. It just means you are growing. It means you are standing at the door of the next level. And the only thing you need to do is to keep moving, even if it's slow, even if it's messy.
The biggest mistake
Is not making mistakes.
The biggest mistake
Is stopping. So from today, be patient with yourself. Talk to yourself in English. Write down your thoughts. Make English a small part of your day, not just a subject you study, but something you live with. Step by step, you will break through. You will feel free in English one day, the same way you feel free in your own language, and it will be worth it. Thank you for staying until the end. If you are still here, congratulations. You have already done more than 90% of people who give up halfway. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like. It really supports the channel. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your journey. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on more content to help you grow. Thanks again for being here, and see you in the next video.